Okay, here's where we're going to do some editing, but I'm just going to keep talking. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you are watching this, thank you so much for joining me. I am so glad you're here. My name is Carla and I love crystals, and I am here to talk about crystals. I love the metaphysical properties of crystals. I think they're pretty. I love all the things about crystals. So today what I want to talk about is Cavansite and Pentagonite. So my journey with Cavansite is it was a crystal that I had on my look out for list when I was crystal shopping. I wanted to get a sample of it. Cavansite is really pretty blue color, and the reason I was interested in it is the metaphysical properties are all about communication, intuition, connecting with the spirit realm. It is all about the third eye and the throat, which is being able to clearly communicate and clearly understand what you're receiving. Cavansite is known for helping people who are trying to develop their clairs. If you're clairaudient, clairvoyant, looking to increase those skills, this is a crystal that is good to work with. So it was on my list of things that I wanted to look for, and I was able to find some when I went to the Denver Crystal Show last year. And because I love looking at crystals, here are some examples. Now, Cavansite these are in the matrix, and it often grows with stilbite, and it's going to be hard to see. You can see the color. You can see the sparkly stilbite matrix with these really pretty examples. There you go, right in front of my face. Maybe then you can see it better. Block me out. Look at the pretty crystals. So Cavansite grows with stilbite, and those two together make a really nice combination. I'm just going to read here so I get it right from my Book of Stones. Cavansite and stilbite together can be a profoundly opening and healing combination of truth, love, and peace. It can open the doors of perception while increasing one's attunement with the realm of the heart. So that's so lovely. It's so peaceful and such a nice, sweet energy that I really need in my life right now. So, those are the metaphysical properties, and here are some examples of Cavansite that are, oh, there we go. The trick is in front of my face, and then you can see it better. So when I was shopping for Cavansite, and we found this really lovely man at this booth. Cavansite comes from India. There's also some Pentagonite that's been found in the western US in Oregon. So we'll get to that in a minute. But when I was looking at the Cavansite, and it had all of these mineral samples out there, and they're so pretty, and I was picking some up, and my sister was with me, and she noticed a sign on the table that said Pentagonite. And there was a whole section of the Pentagonite crystals and a whole section of the Cavansite crystals. And to my eye at that time, they looked the same to me. So the gentleman was so nice, and he explained that they are in the same areas, they grow the same, they're chemically the same, but the crystal structure is different. So they actually look different. And a lot of people know Cavansite, and not very many people know Pentagonite because it's not as common. So I found that super interesting, and I picked up some samples of both, and I'm so fascinated, but there's so little. So I'm going to put some pictures up on the screen as I edit this so that you can see some up close pictures that I took with my camera. I don't have a super fabulous macro lens or anything like that, but I was able to get some close-up pictures so that you can see. So Pentagonite and Cavansite have the same chemical structure. So at the basis, they grow in the same way. Now I have a paragraph here I'm going to read so I don't get it wrong. The chemical formula of these two species is the same, but their crystallographic structures are different, so they're polymorphs. So in our case, so Cavansite is a dimorph of Pentagonite and vice versa, which basically means chemically they're the same, but they grow different, they look different. So they grow in the same crystalline system, which is orthorhombic crystal structure, which, just for fun, because it's so much, orthorhombic is this one right here. So when crystals grow, they grow in different ways. And so at the base, they all grow in the orthorhombic system. And then when they grow in their crystalline lattice, they grow in different ways. So the crystal structure results in different optical properties. So science, cool. So getting on to that, let's find, now this is a really teeny tiny, and maybe show the difference of Pentagonite. So the difference is, I don't know if you can see those little spikies, the little points. This is how Pentagonite grows. It grows where it's pointy and very sharp little needles is a good way to describe it. Whereas Cavansite grows where it kind of looks like a cauliflower is a good way to describe it. So it's much softer. You can see how it grows more in a clump, in a cluster, and the Pentagonite grows in little spikes. And I actually have a mineral sample that is now in my collection that has both in it, and I will try and get a closer picture. But here you can, up close, trust me, you can see the cauliflower looking section, you can see the spiky looking section, and this actually even has a little, see that little white clear popping up? That's a little stilbite that's kind of popping up in the middle. So very, very fun to have the two side by side and to be able to see them side by side. So the point of the video was just to show you that Pentagonite is out there. It's a little bit different than Cavansite. Chemically, they're the same. So in my mind, the metaphysical properties are going to be the same, at least for me. So maybe the crystal structure is going to have some slight differences, but for my purposes and just how I work with crystals, I just think it's super cool. And I've got a mineral sample and I can see the difference and I love it. So Pentagonite has also been found in the Western United States. There are some areas in Oregon, and those do grow even a little bit differently than these examples that I have from India. I don't have a sample of it, but now that is on my list of things to look out for. I want a Western US Pentagonite to go with my collection of Indian Cavansite and Pentagonite. So now that I have these cool mineral samples, how do I work with crystals, air quotes, work with crystals? Now, I like crystals that I can hold when I meditate. That's mostly what I do. Or I'll put it on my desk, or I'll put it on my bedside, or I'll put it under my pillow. And I have the intention of, I have this next to me because I want to get guidance from it while I sleep. I want to get guidance from it when I meditate. Sometimes I'll ask a specific question, meditate, and see what comes through from the crystal, from my higher self. So what I do is I would take this mineral specimen, and I don't have a particular way that I always do it. Some crystals are more delicate. This is obviously really delicate. And it's in the matrix, so it's in the rock. So this one I pick up, sometimes I'll hold it like this. Sometimes I'll cup it a little bit so that the energy, my energy mixes with the crystal energy a little bit closer like that. I'll hold it like that. It really depends at the time what my intention is. And there's a little druzy pocket in there. I just got totally distracted by looking at the sparkles in that little druzy pocket. So sorry, squirrel, a little squirrel moment. Depends on my intention of the time, how I'm going to hold it, how it wants to be held. Maybe I'll put it up on my heart while I'm meditating if I lay back. There is no right way. It depends what works for you. But me, what I do is hold it with these, because it's in the matrix. I want to get the energy close, hold it, meditate, and other than that, it'll work with me for a little bit, and then it'll be in my collection ready for the next time I want to work with it. This isn't one that I would put in my pocket and carry around because I think it's kind of delicate and I don't want the little spikes to break. This is another reason why it's really good to talk to crystal vendors, because the gentleman who told me about all of this and sold these to me also showed me how to wrap them and protect them while I was traveling. So super, super nice of him to do that. So anyway, Pentagonite, super cool. Cavansite, so glad to finally have it in my collection. All right, that's it. That's a wrap on Cavansite, Pentagonite. Hopefully you've learned enough that if you do see them out in the wild, you can tell them apart and you know what to look for. Anyway, thanks. Have a great day. Thanks for being with me. We'll see you next time. Love y'all. Bye. How they want to, that's stupid. We're going to edit that out.